picked me up a Mattel WWE Series number 69 Sergeant Slaughter loose off of eBay. Let's take a look and do a compare and contrast. Greetings, Toyheads, and welcome to another episode of Go Figure with me, your host, Eli Williams, here on the digitally Rebastard Network, the action figure show about news, reviews, collecting tips, customizations, kit bashing, everything that goes into this fun, nerdy hobby that you and I both love. And in this special episode, we're going to be taking a look at the Mattel WWE Series number 69 Sergeant Slaughter. I picked this up loose off of eBay. It is mint, out of box, not a scratch on it, nothing wrong with it. Complete. I wanted to get this because I thought, well, I just got all these Sergeant Slaughters, and I thought this would be a good one to get, and just because of how it looked, and it looked to me more like the original G.I. Joe did than the other one. But we're going to do a compare and contrast with this, the G.I. Joe Classified series, and the two valaverse Action Force Sergeant Slaughters. But first, I just wanted to do a loose review on this. So there's only two accessories that he comes with, and one is the hat, the signature hat there. And as you can see, this one is green. This one is actually more... I'm pretty sure this is the accurate color. It is a very, very soft, rubbery material. It's a very soft, rubbery plastic. But to me, it is definitely more like what he wore when he was in the WWE, WWF. I don't know. I don't understand the modern wrestling things. I watched it when it was the WWF, when it was, you know, him, George the Animal Steel, Hulk Hogan, Nikolai Volkov, Iron Sheik, Roddy Piper. Sergeant Slaughter and Roddy Piper were always my two favorite guys. And so, you know, to me, this is really, really what he looks like. Maybe a bit more fit than he was, but they tend to do that with action figures. The other accessory that he comes with are these sunglasses. These are also a little softer plastic, but not as soft and rubbery as the hat. I kind of want to hit these lenses with my chrome pen and give them a bit of a reflective surface, but I don't know. I haven't decided whether or not I'm going to do that yet. But we will sit those aside here, and let's take a look at Sarge here. Let me grab the ruler. He is very tall. He stands at just slightly over between 6.5 and 6.25 inches tall. He's very, very tall. I don't know if he's actually taller than the G.I. Joe Classified. He's definitely taller than the valaverse Action Force because they tended to make those a little bit smaller, but they were, and I understand why, because they wanted them to kind of be more uniform and wanted him to have more of a realistic height. I don't know exactly how tall Sergeant Slaughter is, but probably not this tall. But the wrestling figures tended to be more taller and bigger than life. Now, as good as this looks, there is one elephant in the room, and I know you can see it. And it's an well, I really have two beefs about this, and it is due to the articulation. However, this is a little older, even though they really had this type of articulation then. But anyway, let's get into it and just take a look at articulation. First off, the face sculpt for the age of this is actually pretty good. All things considered, he does have a more of a realistic flesh tone, it looks like, because the others tend to be a little pink skinned, but this is Andorian thing from Enterprise, pink skin. This seems to have more of a realistic flesh tone look to him. The black tank top is sculpted on, And the camo, the pants have the camo paint apps on them, which are really nice. Actually, there's 3 articulation issues I have with this, but I understand because of when this came out and who made it and everything, even though Mattel at that time was making some much more articulated figures with like the DC Universe Classics. But so yeah, the tank top is sculpted onto the upper body. It is not a separate piece or anything. You've got black bracers there on the wrists, very signature to Sergeant Slaughter. The boots have a really high detail. It's very high detailed looking figure, and they did do a really good job with it. And I feel like this should have a little bit more green on it. If this had green on it, it would really look like the original G.I. Joe, but we're going more for what he looked like on the WWE. He does have the thinning hair up there. There is a little bit of scuff and scratch on the head, probably from where the hat's being put on and taken off. So let's dive into articulation so we can talk about the 3 elephants in the room. First off, the head seems to be a dumbbell going into the neck, up into the head, and not like a ball hinge up at the top there. So you get a little bit of down, a little bit of up, not really much tilt. The head's kind of just kind of stuck there. It does go all the way around, but you don't really have much head movement there, so that's sort of a thing. But then when you get to the arms go all the way out, do have a bicep swivel. You've got a hinge here. They go all the way around. They are kind of angled outward because of the bulkiness of the upper torso, but arms all the way out, bicep swivel, a single elbow, no elbow swivel per se there, but you do have a wrist swivel all the way around and an in and out hinge, a very smooth in and out hinge, but it's very large pins that you can see in there. The left hand is a grip hand, and the right hand is a fist hand, also with the same swivel and hinge in and out. They did a really good job with, down to here. But it could have been a double elbow, but they weren't. Not too many people were really doing that back then, so I get that. So that's more like a DC Universe Classics right there. You do have a hip, a waist swivel on there. Okay, let's just get right into it. The hips. The hips only have a forward and back swivel on them. They have no outward, no ball joint hinge in the hips, no thigh swivel. That is a single knee joint that only goes back to there. However, there is a boot swivel on there for the lower leg, so that's kind of impressive. There's slight detents on the. Well, it's not really detents. It's just a hinge on the feet, but no rocker on the feet whatsoever. It is a really great looking figure, though. I cannot argue against that. Let's go ahead and put his sunglasses on and his hat on, and make him look a little bit more authentic there. His head is sort of kind of loose, but it's too bad he doesn't have his swagger stick, that they didn't give that with an accessory, but that wasn't an accessory that he came with. It was just his hat and his glasses. So let's take a look, compare and contrast on all the other Sergeant Slaughters in order of when they came out. I have the original Wave 1 Action Force, valaverse Action Force here. He is obviously considerably smaller. Get him right up here. Get his feet right up there next to, so he's right next to him. He is considerably smaller, much more articulated. But again, they made them of a different scale. The wrestling figures, the Mattel wrestling figures, seem to be, more larger than life, and I can understand that. But you can see what I was talking about with the pink skin. They made the skin more pink. It's really more, to me, this has got a more realistic flesh tone to it. We'll sit him down here. And then we'll get out the G.I. Joe Classified, the newly released G.I. Joe Classified Sergeant Slaughter. And we'll take a look at him. Let's move him back just a bit there. A little bit closer. He is, the G.I. Joe Classified is a bit more bulkier and muscular than he is, but the boots are shorter. The boots on Sergeant Slaughter, on the Mattel one, seem to be more realistic towards the wrestling type boots that, went all the way up to the knee, as where, the ones with the valaverse and the Hasbro tend to be more like combat boots, which would not go all the way up to the knee. But still, he's still a good looking figure, despite the articulation issues with him. He does look really good. Let's move him, and then we'll bring out the and we'll get the Wave 2 valaverse. The Wave 2 valaverse Sergeant Slaughter. Again, a little smaller, but still great articulation. I was very impressed with this one. They, as I said in my, if you haven't watched my unboxing and review videos of those guys, go down and check those out. But again, with the pink skin, it really, standing next to him, it looks less realistic. I guess, that this has more of a human quality to it, but that's okay. Yeah, we'll move this aside. For what he is, and what I only paid like $22 for him. And it came to me very, very quickly. For what he is, I'm pretty happy with him. He'll look good standing up there next to, I got 4 Sergeant Slaughter standing next to each other on my G.I. Joe shelf. Well, G.I. Joe / Fortnite. Because I don't have a whole lot of room, so I kind of combine those two. But I think he looks pretty good. Let's line him up with all 4 of those Sergeant Slaughters and just see them all in a row there, so we can have a better compare and contrast. So here we have him with the Wave 1 valaverse Action Force Sergeant Slaughter, the Wave 2 valaverse Action Force Sergeant Slaughter, and the Hasbro G.I. Joe Classified Series Sergeant Slaughter. All in all, I'm happy with him. He isn't up to the quality of articulation with these, not having a double elbow, not having any kind of outward articulation on the hips, and not having double knees, not having forward rockers on the feet, but still a good looking representation of the more realistic wrestling Sergeant Slaughter, and not so much of an action Sergeant Slaughter there with weapons and whatnot. But I'm pretty happy with him, and like I said, he'll look good up on my shelf. But I just wanted to put this up there and share this with you. So if you've not ever seen this one with the other representations, there you go. So that will do it. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed that. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Smash that bell so you can get information on all the good things coming out of the Digitally Rebastard Network. You all have a great week and a great day. I'll see you next time. And until then, don't forget to get your figure on. Take care.